Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Jeff Anozie and I'm your real estate consultant based in Enugu State, Nigeria. My goal on this channel is to educate and inform you so that you can make high return on your real estate investment. In today's video, we are going to be talking about cheap lands in Nigeria. So what is the attraction, what are the risks, and what should you do? Please, if you're new on this channel, kindly hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell beside it so that you can always be informed whenever we release educative videos like this. Let's dive. Everybody likes to know that they've gotten a good bargain, especially when they are buying something. But sometimes you feel like the price difference is just too much, and that is the same thing with buying land. You might be wondering, why are some lands very expensive and the others cheap, especially when they are in the same location and probably the same size? There are two basic factors that influences the price of a land. First is the location. They are based in Enugu State, and a piece of land in Independence Layout is definitely not the same price as a piece of land in Amojinike, alright, that along Nsukka Road or somewhere behind the Enugu International Airport. They will not be the same price because of the location. At Independence Layout is a high brow area where the cream la creams live, and even the Enugu State government house is, alright. Meanwhile, these other areas are fast developing areas. They are not fully developed, but they are fast developing areas. And so, in as much as the two properties can be the same size, in fact, the one at Amojinike and MNM may even be bigger, but because of the location, the prices are definitely different. The second reason, which is the focus of this video today, is the land title. What kind of document does the land have? Alright, now here's the thing. Every land in Nigeria falls under two basic categories. They are free land and they are acquired land, based on the Land Act of 1978. For the free lands, government is really not interested in them. They are not, there is no government hands on the free lands. But on the acquired lands, government is interested in those lands. Acquired lands, and on the other hand, also fall under two categories. There are two different types of acquisition. There is the committed acquisition and there is the global acquisition, or general acquisition, as some people like to call it. Okay, so for the committed acquisition, these are lands that the government have clearly marked for a project, probably an infrastructure, maybe to build a park or a hospital or something, all right? Those are committed lands. In Enugu, Nigeria, if you live in Enugu, you see there's a piece of land just beside Opera Square where they have this uncompleted building called the ICC, International Conference Center. That is a committed land, all right? You can see that the government has committed that land to build that particular. Global lands, on the other hand, the global acquisition, on the other hand, they are lands that are still under government acquisition, mainly in urban areas, but have not been marked for a particular project. They've not been committed for a particular project. Now, these are the lands that some people, either the indigenes of the community or developers, now go to the government and ask to get a piece of that land. And sometimes the government releases it through a process called excision. All right, excision. So what's excision? Excision is simply a process where the government releases a piece of land. All right, they release it to either a community or a real estate development company. Okay, so these guys now go begin develop and then sell the pieces of land to individuals. Here's the thing. The truth about most cheap lands in Nigeria, most, not all, is that most of them are still under government acquisition, or they are still in excision in progress. Like the individuals, the owners of the property, either the community or maybe a family or a real estate development company, are still in the process of excision. They're still in the process of getting the government to release that land. And whilst they are still in the process, a lot of them go ahead to keep selling the land. And then they tell you things like, oh, this land title is called excision in progress or in process. Now that you know, it is now up to you to decide to buy those types of land. And you need to also know that excision does not end till the land or the property has a gazette. What is a gazette? A gazette simply means when the property has finally been released, and then the family, the community, or a real estate development company now goes back to the government or the Surveyor General's office to register this property under their names. That's trying to tell them now that this particular property has been released and is free to be used. Now that is what a gazette means. So when you hear some people say gazette, that is what it is. Okay, a land that has a gazette will definitely be more expensive than a land that is having an excision in process, or a land that is still under government acquisition. And here's the thing, once a property is still under government acquisition, there is no guarantee that it will ever be released. Or maybe it could be, but it could take a very long time to get released. But the point is that there is no guarantee it will ever be released. Alright? Some people like to take the risk because those lands are cheap, right? They will be reasonably cheap. So they like to take the risk, hoping that by the time they are ready to use the land or to sell off the land will be released. Or once the land is released, of course, the price goes up. Now that you know, it is now up to you to decide to take the risk. But it's important you take the risk knowing what you need to know about that property. And how do you even know if a land is released, if the land is acquired, if the land is free, or if the land is still under government acquisition? How do you know? By simply doing a search. So you do a title search on the land and you do a survey search on the land. If the land has a registered survey, it will show in the Ministry of Land. So you just go to the Ministry of Land and run a search, or simply hire a registered surveyor or a property lawyer. Alright, so the both of them can help do your research on that particular property.